before we start, can I just ask to us take a step back and get a sense of the scale you're operating in? Because I know for you it's every day, you're moving goods and amazing things all over the world, but I think it helps to have it in a perspective. So 80% of global trade in volume is powered by maritime sea trade. And then every 10th standard container is moved by a deeper world. Am I getting it right?
So, first of all, thank you for inviting me here today. Can you hear me? Okay, great. So DP World is a global trade enabler. We operate in over 75 countries. We have over 110,000 employees. 90% of world trade moves over water, and we are responsible of handling over 10% of that.
That's fascinating. I think this just, if you think everything you do within your operations, it literally has a power across the supply chain, across more than just MENA region and globally.
Yes.
So tell us your story. What are the decarbonization achievements you're most proud of?
So, as I mentioned, we handle over 10% of ocean cargo. We do know our scale, we know our impact, and hence we know our responsibility. We have a very robust sustainability strategy called Our World, Our Future. And when it comes to decarbonization, we have a clear path to net zero by 2050 and a short-term target of 42% reduction by 2030. We're also validated by science-based targets. Our decarbonization strategy has 5 main pillars: renewable energy, alternative fuel, electrification, digitalization, and carbon credits. When it comes to renewable energy, I'm proud to say that 65% of our operations globally are sourced by renewable energy. And when it comes to our operations in the UAE, Jebel Ali Port, Jafza, Dry Docks World, 100% of our energy is coming from renewable sources from Mohammed bin Rashid Solar Park through an IREX agreement with DEWA.
That's fascinating. So 65% of energy already today comes from renewable sources. Can you tell us how long did it take you to achieve this, and maybe some of the challenges or lessons you learned along the way that you are taking with you for the future on those initiatives?
I think it's important for any company to have a very clear decarbonization target and a strategy and that gives you a pathway to achieving your target. We've started, sustainability has been in our DNA. Ever since I joined the company 8 years ago, sustainability has been part of it. I know after 2020 it's becoming more and more important, but we've always done it. One good thing is that sustainability and all of these initiatives require a lot of finance and capital. The good news is the finance and capital market has improved now. There is all of this sustainable finance available to everyone, including green bond, blue bond, and transition finance. So for us, I think one of the biggest achievements was our $1.5 billion green sukuk that we launched last year. 100% of the proceeds are going to greening our operations.
That's fascinating. And I also noticed that you are pioneering in technology space. So I think if you just even look at the press releases on the DP World's website, you will notice every month there is a new pilot, a new technology they're testing, a completely new arrangement of different parts of operations that you're always on the move. So now looking at the tech landscape that is evolving so fast, which technologies you believe are the game changers for sustainability progress?
So right here in Jebel Ali Port, we have Box Bay. Box Bay is a technology we worked on with a German company, and it's patented. So what Box Bay is, it's a solar-powered storage stacking system. So today when you look at a terminal operation, the containers are stacked on top of each other in a yard, which takes a lot of yard space. But also if you want to move a container from the bottom of the stack, you have to remove the ones on the top and get the container from the bottom. That's not only not efficient, but it also releases more carbon emissions because with each move, you're emitting carbon. So what Boxpay does, it's like a vending machine. All the containers are in this, I would say, the elevated stacking system. You just press the button and the container that you want comes out, puts it on the tractor, and then here it goes. So it not only reduces emissions, it also makes our own operations more productive and easier and efficient, I would say.
And I think this is, in my experience, this is something that is so key to make sustainability sustainable in a way that ensuring that whatever we do on to advance sustainability targets also helps create customer value and helps to create more efficient businesses. Basically, you're playing Lego on a global trade scale. That's fascinating. And given how complex the supply chains are and the global scale you're operating on, do you have any lessons or advice or tips for creating that broad stakeholder alignment and commitment to changes when it comes to sustainability?
Supply chain is extremely complex, and no one person can achieve their target without everyone achieving their collective target. So we do understand that. And there is no competition when it comes to environment. There is only collaboration. And one initiative that I'm really proud of is called the Move to -15 that was launched here in the UAE last year during COP28. Move to -15 is an initiative that we launched because we saw that all of our cold chain were transported in -15 degrees. Even at your house, your refrigerator, your freezer is set at -15. So we questioned why -15? And we commissioned an academic research to find out if -15 is the ultimate temperature. And you know what happened? They came back and they said -15 was set a century ago and no one ever questioned it. And -15 is simply equates to 0 Fahrenheit. That's the whole reason. So the researchers came back and they said if you move the temperature from -15, 3 degrees up to -18, it will have no negative impact on the quality and safety of the food. But for the world outside, it's a game changer. It will help reduce emissions and make cold chain supply chain more sustainable. The initiative couldn't have done alone with us. We need regulators, health authorities, governments, food producers, all of them to be part of this movement. So we created an independent coalition called the Move to -15. And we're getting members every day. I'm very proud to say just last week, Emirates Airlines also joined our coalition as a member. And we have a lot of work to do together to lobby the move to -15.
This is incredible. So basically for years, we were cooling things.
It was set at -18.
Yes.
And it's going up to -15.
So for years, we were freezing things at -18 because we believed that's the right thing to do and no one questioned it. You checked it. We could decrease this temperature by 3 degrees without compromising safety of food. And obviously that means huge wins for the environment, but also efficiency.
So when you move it from -18 up to -15, you're literally using less electricity. That's the whole point.
That's incredible. And so now what's ahead of you? So looking ahead, what do you set as see as the next frontier? What excites you about the future?
So for us, sustainability is not just a tick the box. It's for us a license to operate. And we have a very robust sustainability strategy called Our World, Our Future. And climate and environment is only one part of the strategy. We have 7 responsible business areas and 3 legacy areas underpinned by the UN SDGs. So you see people talking more about climate and environment, but sustainability, ESG, is beyond climate. So for us, we operate in over 75 countries, and we operate in communities in the global south. It's really important for us to build resiliency in these communities. One thing and one initiative that I'm really proud of is called Solar Mamas. It's our partnership with Barefoot College International, where we train women from these communities to become solar energy technicians. So they're not only going home and powering their houses with clean energy, They're also equipped with green skill, the skill of tomorrow, and they're bringing additional income for their family. So it also supports the concept of just transition. And another example I would love to share is our partnership with Bridges to Prosperity. It's an NGO that repurposes used cables and builds bridges to connect communities in Africa. We partnered with them. We donated cables from our Jebel Ali port, and we were able to build 18 bridges last year across Rwanda, connecting 55,000 community members to schools, hospitals, markets. That project is, I think, something that we're really proud of at the company, and we talk about it quite a lot.
And I think the notion that ports bring economic development and have economic impact way beyond just ships that are coming to the port. Could you share a little bit more on that, on the impact you are having on the community where you are investing in infrastructure? Because I think that's where it beautifully connects to the social, community, and environmental aspects.
So I think a lot of people, when they look at any impact, they just look at your emission impact, right? Last year, actually beginning of this year, JP Morgan came up with a framework. It's called Sustainable Development Impact Disclosure Framework, which shows your assets' impact on all the 17 SDGs and not only on the environmental pillar. So the 17 SDGs include economic development and job and all of that. We were the first company globally to adopt that framework. The launch of the framework was at IMF Spring Meeting in partnership with JP Morgan. And our report, which is our SDID report, the first report, was launched at the IMF Fall Meeting. There is a lot of impact disclosures in that report that I'm proud of. One of the impact disclosure is that our operations in Senegal was credited with 10% uplift in the GDP of the country.
Unbelievable, 10%.
Looking at ESG as holistic with the impact across SDG is really important. Climate is extremely important, but there are other aspects of SDGs that we really take care of. Ocean is a really important part of our strategy because we operate through ocean. So we have a lot of initiatives that support reviving our oceans. We have community resiliency is a big part of our strategy. We operate in the global south, as I said, and we feel it's our responsibility to build resiliency in those communities, creating jobs, health, safety, mental health. All of that is part of our sustainability strategy, which is called Our World, Our Future. I invite all of you to actually visit our website and look at our ESG report. And a lot of this is mentioned in the ESG report of DP World. Thank you.
Can I have one last question? Something I've noticed working with companies is sometimes we talk about, or people in businesses often talk about costs of sustainability. And I think it's becoming a bit problematic because if we're thinking about business value and customer value in one bucket and then costs of sustainability and cost of sustainability in another bucket, we will get a problem somewhere down the road. And I can sense that this is not how DP World is approaching this, and it's very clear in One World in your strategy. Any advice to business leaders who are maybe facing some of this cost of sustainability challenges?
Good news is customers are asking for it. So now sustainability is no longer a good to do thing. It's a requirement to win a tender, to win a bid. So you have to do it to be relevant in today's and tomorrow's economy. That's number one. Number two, as I said, green finance is cheaper than the regular finance and it's available outside. We raised $1.5 billion of green sukuk last year to green our operations. And finally, sustainability is not always costly or costs you more than the business as usual. As I told you, the box bay, it will make our ports more efficient. It will make our job more efficient. When it comes to electrified terminal equipment, downtime is lower, maintenance is cheaper. So sustainability does not always cost you more.
I think this is a beautiful message to learn, to take away with this. So finding those opportunities for sustainability, operational efficiency, customer values, communities to hold hands to have those goals reinforce and advance each other. I think that's a very sustainable approach to sustainability.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We have literally 50 seconds for maybe questions from the audience.
Thank you. My name is Jamshir and I'm coming from Kochi, where DP World is handling the port. And I was such amazing to listen to you, and you are catering to 17 SDGs, which was very amazing and interesting story to hear. I just wanted to understand, like, what is the strategy that you are doing to convey this message to the other brands who literally, because sustainability, everybody speaks a lot. But something you were speaking about the ground level implementation of each kind of these SDGs. So I urge that you should speak up more about these initiatives, and do you have any specific strategies that will make the other brands also follow the routes of or the way that DP World is doing? Thank you very so much.
Thank you very much. So yes, we always use platforms like this, like Davos, like Anga, London Climate Week. We go to those platforms where we connect with audience, with customers, with clients, with competitors, partners, and we share our story. We share our story not to only inspire others to do the same, but also to share examples that people can follow, to create awareness about sustainability, create partnerships. Sometimes you share something and someone's like, oh, can I collaborate with you on this? Actually, through these platforms is where we get a lot of collaboration opportunities. So definitely go to the right platforms, share your story. We also share our story on our ESG report, which gets published every year. And also sharing your story holds you accountable, right? Once you publicly commit, the accountability comes in, the transparency comes in. So you're just sharing it to inspire others, to hold yourself accountable, and to transparently share your achievements and your milestones.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.